and welcome. It's the 29th day of June 2023, and I want to say a big thank you to you for joining us from wherever it is you're watching from in the world. Cyril Aloysius is my name, and I've got Kosi Wobodo once again by my side to look at the papers with me and, of course, talk about some of the headlines in the papers. Kosi, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How do you do?
I'm fine.
I trust you had a wonderful night rest.
Yeah, I thank God.
And what do you have to say concerning the fact that for the first time in a very long while, we're having sunshines here in Osaka?
It's really a wonderful thing because as of yesterday, it's rained all through. So I think the weather is cool. I like it.
Okay, I think if a friend of mine, after seeing this kind of sun rays, would say, this sun is attracting rain, the next thing you see now is
Exactly.
rain.
Especially during this rainy season.
All right, so as usual, we'll be looking at three papers, and firstly, we'll be starting with the Daily Sun newspaper, where we have some interesting headlines. And headline on page 6, the boldest headline in the Daily Sun says, Tinubu asks Nigerians to make more sacrifices. Tinubu asks Nigerians to make more sacrifices, says country will experience peace, stability, prosperity. Tinubu asks Nigerians to make more sacrifices, says country will experience peace, stability, and prosperity. Okay, more details of that headline is on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And still on page 6, we have article, Wike fight shifts to Senate over minority leader's seat. Article, Wike fight shifts to Senate over minority leader's seat. Ex-Rivers governor mobilizes against Tambowa. That's on page 6 as well of Daily Sun. And over now to page 28, we have Tinubu's London trip, not medical checkup. Not for medical checkup, insists APC. Tinubu's London trip, not for medical checkup, insists APC. That's on page 28 of Daily Sun. And on page 26, we have Obi fetters Muslims, says love, unity will take Nigeria to desired height. That's on page 26. And on page 8, we have Archbishop Task Nas. Archbishop Task Nas advocates end of election cases before inauguration. Wants 4 Buhari ministers probed. That story is on page 8. And on page 27, we have structure of my government will soon start taking shape. Makinde assures. Structure of my government will soon start taking shape. Makinde assures. That's on page 27. And on page 4, we have PDP APC trade blames over alleged attack on Adeleke on prayer ground. PDP APC trade blames over alleged attack on Adeleke on prayer ground. Ex-Senate spokesperson debunks her claim. That's on page 4 of Daily Sun. And on page 27, again, we have why I won't accept a beaded crown. Only authentic Olubadan crown, according to Ladoja on page 27. And lastly, in the Daily Sun, we have on page 28, again, this one says, Obi of Onisha heads committee to harmonize Igbo culture. Obi of Onitsha heads committee to harmonize Igbo culture. That's on page 28 of the Daily Sun. Wobodokosi, just before I move straight to the next papers, I'd like to get your thoughts on the story on page 6 that talks about Tinubu asking Nigerians to make more sacrifices and him promising peace, stability, and prosperity.
Well, I think the question here should be, till when? Till when will we continue to be making sacrifices? Even right from the time of former President Buhari, that was what they said we should be making sacrifices. That was what even led to the popular change during their campaign, that change is going to come, we should just be patient and all that. But if you look at it, till when will Nigerians continue to be making sacrifices? Na person wey dey alive dey make sacrifices. Because you don't expect, okay, we just came out from the whole Naira scarcity and all that. We then entered into petroleum subsidy. You don't expect us to, we are hungry. Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are suffering. and you're telling you don't expect a hungry man to be making sacrifice when he or she is hungry.
And you're busy,
It's not possible.
and you are busy
flying,
the
not even
salaries
if
of
them flying outside the country, coming in, and you're telling us to make sacrifices.
You know, it's
why
easier.
would the poor be the ones to make sacrifice? Why would the masses be the ones to make sacrifice?
Exactly.
Why can't the government make
I
sacrifice?
thought leaders are supposed to be the ones to make sacrifices
Exactly, that's
for the
the
people.
real definition of a leader. A leader is someone that laid down their life for the people. They lay down their life so that the people will be happy. They serve the people. We elected you there for you to make
Life
for you to
better for us.
Exactly. We didn't elect you there for you to make life miserable for us. You're telling us to make sacrifices, but till when? Give us that assurance. Are you they just came. Do you know we weren't prepared for this first subsidy? We weren't. They just entered and they said that their government cannot be able to cater for the fuel subsidy again anymore. That is not in their budget.
Okay.
And then what are we to do? We have to survive on our own. What's the essence of having our people there, of electing a leader there? What's the essence of those people, the government? What's the essence of them being in that position if they cannot look out for the masses?
Okay.
So I feel that if Tinubu, I know change is always it's always very painful.
Okay.
But this should at least give us some assurance and also put some measures into place to cushion the effects of the suffering the people are going through.
The policies he's making.
Exactly. If you are saying you are removing fuel subsidy, give us an alternative that at least will fall backwards, so that once the whole thing is stabilized, we will even be able to move on with our life, to even be able to cater for ourselves.
Currently, PDP is actually bashing him now, saying that the policies that he's making are anti-human.
Exactly.
Policies, anti-human policies.
It's quite appalling. It's quite appalling because you are making policies. Yeah, you want Nigeria, you want change, but you're not bringing any alternative route for it.
That will help the poor masses.
Exactly, that will help the poor masses. Okay, recently, the struggling Okada rider, the motorists, the Okada riders, now they've introduced the act of what is it called? Personal ownership,
Yes.
something
Yes.
like that. You understand?
Where
You
pay
introduce
1,000
naira for you
proof
to
of
ownership, which is wrong. Okay, it's right, quite all right. But for you to be asking, why wouldn't they make it free? Why wouldn't they make it free? It's right, because just imagine someone that maybe if you steal a stolen car, if you cannot prove that you are the owner, you'll be arrested, which is like a way, to me, I see it's a way of curbing criminal and curbing robbery. Exactly.
Okay.
So to me, I feel it's good, but why didn't he make it free for them to, you can register your this thing, but it should be free. We are suffering. We are trying to cater for fuel. We are also paying for 1,000 naira for this thing, proof of ownership.
So, Kosi, before I draw the curtain on this particular topic, I would actually love us to talk more on it, but because of time's sake, we don't have that much time. Let me get to know from you now before I draw the curtain. Do you feel like the reasons for the actions of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, him making all these policies and just outrightly without putting measures in place, do you feel like he's doing so just because he's the president? Do you feel like all these decisions of policies that he's making are coming out of a place where, because he's privileged to be in a more financial stable situation, where he doesn't feel it? Because believe it or not, I don't think the bourgeoisie are feeling this effect of fuel subsidy.
They don't.
Whether or not fuel gets
it's none of their business.
10,000 naira per liter, I don't think they are feeling it, because the money is there to always buy.
That's what the PDP are, but that's the reason why the PDP are badging him, because you can't make politics just without giving an alternative route. You understand?
So you're
If
saying
you
the policies
actually
that he's
feel-
making are born out of
if he actually feel the pains, the suffering his people are going through, he will know that if before he make it or before he approve
there must be a plan B somewhere.
before he approve any law, he should at least map out a plan B. You can't just wake up, then they bring a bill for you to sign, you just assent to it. It's wrong.
Without considering
how
people are surviving.
Without even consulting the stakeholders in that sector. You don't just approve any bill because it's been brought to you after a well thorough debate. You don't do that. You, at least as a man of integrity that he claims he is, because that's what he said. He claimed to be a man of integrity. He should at least consider the suffering of the people. Nigerians are suffering. You can't just be making policies and then because you want the government to get more money, more revenue. And if they're getting this revenue, what are the measures? Where are you going to put this revenue? Where are you going to invest this revenue? Is it to use it to enrich the ministers, the commissioners, the people in power? Or is it to use it to work for the people? Because even in all this civilized world, they collect taxes, you pay taxes, but it's used for the good of the people.
Yes.
If we are to pay tax, if we are to do all this, if they are to collect all these taxes people are paying, it should be used for us, for the people, for the benefit of the people, not using it to fly abroad and all that. Going for medical checkup. Why won't they use? Because they know that we as Nigerians, we don't even have good health care. So they don't even trust their own doctors. That's why this issue of brain draining. You see, once a medical practitioner, once the person finish, he will just travel outside the country. And they will be paying them. Just imagine in a situation where you are offered more than what you are being paid for in Nigeria. Yeah. Why won't you collect it? Why? If in a situation whereby Nigeria has this a well-organized system, yeah, that is functional, and in health center, in health sector, people, the doctors, the medical practitioners, the resident doctors are being paid well. Even if they are being offered higher than that, they won't really
they won't find it easy.
Exactly, because for the fact that imagine you've been offered like 5 times your actual payment.
Yes.
What is holding you? Everybody wants greener pasture. Everybody wants to improve their standard of living. So I feel if the government, if they should use those money they are collecting from the people, if they should use it to put it in a necessary place, so that we masses will be able to benefit from it. They shouldn't just be pocketing it to themselves and then be traveling outside the country. Then we, the masses, the poor masses, we should just stay there and do nothing and suffer it. So.
Thank you so much, Kosi, for your thoughts on that headline. Let's look at the Guardian newspaper now for further headlines. And the boldest headline here, the Guardian, says on page 6, Salah, presidency, PDP trade blames over bleak low-key celebrations. Salah, presidency, PDP trade blames over bleak low-key celebrations. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 15 of the Guardian, we have stock market gains 5 trillion naira in 6 months. Stock market gains 5 trillion naira in 6 months. That's on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. And over now to page 5 of the Guardian, we have federal government to stop funding professional bodies, councils from 2016. Federal government to stop funding professional bodies, councils from 2016. That's on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 8, we have flooding, FCTA to evacuate residents of Trademore Estate. Flooding, FCTA to evacuate residents of Trademore Estate. That's on page 8 of the Guardian. And on page 4, we have Land Use Act between powerful governors and oppressed citizenry. Land Use Act between powerful governors and oppressed citizenry. That story is on page 4 of The Guardian. And on page 6, we have lobbyists stranded as Tinubu relocates from Borderland to White House. Lobbyists stranded as Tinubu relocates from Borderland to White House. That's on page 6. And lastly, in The Guardian for today, we have on page 7. This one says Adeleke, Senator clash over reserved space at Osun Praying Ground. Adeleke, Senator clash over reserved space at Osun Praying Ground. That story is on page 7 of The Guardian newspaper. You want more details of the headlines that you heard, get a copy of the papers for yourself. Omodokosi, just before we go on a short break, please talk about the story here on page 7. I think that's the last thing I read about Adeleke and a senator clashing over reserve space at Osun Praying Ground. Please talk about this.
Well, to me, I just feel it's funny how two adults fight over power, over things that are not even meant to be fought about. Yeah. Governor Adeleke, that's Osun State Governor, actually came late for prayers, right? Okay, it's not like he came late, but he came before the time, but he came after every other person, which is understandable, judging from his tight schedules, understand? But to me, I feel like if you read the story well, you see that even the senator, that he was even like, to him, he felt that the way the governor's aides talked to him wasn't right. That he's a dignitary too.
Okay.
He should be accorded that respect, because there's a popular saying that said, respect is reciprocal. Understand? Even though he occupied the seat that was reserved for the governor in a prayer house, but I still don't understand why they will reserve a seat for a governor in a prayer house. Even God himself said, we are equal before the eyes of the Lord. Yeah, he's a dignitary, but if he wanted to sit at the front during the prayer, he should come earlier. Yeah, I know he's a very busy person and all that, but I feel when it comes to religion, when it comes to prayer, it should be paramount. Nothing should come in a way when it comes to your time to communicate with God. So I feel that
you feel Adeleke was wrong?
Yeah, I feel the way they talk to the guy, to the man, to the basher. I feel the way they talk to the ex-senator. He is also a dignitary.
Yes.
You understand? Being a senator is not Nigerian senator, former senator. It's not easy. So they should have accorded him with the respect. If they have civilized, if he's aide, because Abashir, the person that the thing happened to, he was saying that the way the aide talked to him was out of it.
Okay.
That he feel that the aides of the governor had talks. So if they are assuming they are learned, there are better ways to talk to someone so that the person will understand.
Okay.
So to me, I feel they did wrong the way they talked to him, but also Bashir should have just stood up and go to the back.
So you're saying, from what you're saying, you're trying to say that everything all boils down to the manner of approach.
Yeah, because just imagine, just even a baby of today deserves some respect. You don't just talk to people as if you're talking to an animal. Even an animal deserves some respect too. You don't just come. There are ways, there are manner of approach. That's why some people don't have manner of approach, and some people don't understand what emotional intelligence is all about. When I mean emotional intelligence, you reason your words before you speak it out or before you say it out. You don't just talk anyhow. That's the reason why you have your medulla oblongata, your cerebrum, and others. You don't just come and open your mouth because you just want to talk. There are ways, they're different between get that cup and please, can you pass the cup to me?
Okay.
So I feel the manner of approach.
What's
also, why would the police arrest the man after the prayer? It's wrong.
It shows oppression, right?
It shows oppression. You're trying to, yeah, being the governor, for you to, I feel he's trying to showcase his power, his supremacy. The governor has the power to do anything, but I feel that
boundaries.
boundary, exactly. You don't cross it. You don't just, because you're a governor, you have the right to arrest anybody. You might have the power, quite all right, but I feel the way, why, like, for them to arrest the man is not right.
All right.
It's not right.
Okay, I think we'll have to go on a short break right now, but just in case you have different thoughts to what Kosi Obodo is saying concerning Adeleke and the man that the senator that was arrested, you can drop your comments in the comment section and we'll definitely get back to you. So when we come back from this short break, we'll take our last pick of the day and we'll call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Yes, you're welcome back from that short break, and still on the newspaper review. We shall be taking a look now at the Nigerian News Direct for our last paper for the day. And the news here on page 3 says APC, PDP, Labour Party trade words on impact of Tinubu's policies. APC, PDP, Labour Party trade words on impact of Tinubu's policies. Be patient and ready to make sacrifices. That's President Tinubu, APC, urged Nigerians. Tinubu's policies are anti-people, according to PDP. PDP lacks capacity to achieve what Tinubu achieved in 3 weeks, according to presidency. So you could catch all the details of this particular headline on page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct newspaper. Okay. And the story here on page 2 says Adeleke, controversy over assassination allegation by Governor Adeleke. Adeleke, controversy over assassination allegation by Governor Adeleke. That's on page 2. And on page 7, we have how I killed my brother after 120,000 naira ransom. Suspect opens up. How I killed my brother after 120,000 naira ransom. Suspect opens up. Okay, that's a sad news there on page 7 of the Nigerian News Direct. And over now to page 3. This one says, no fewer than 74 persons killed by hoodlums in 2023 elections, according to EU. EU alleges no fewer than 74 persons killed by hoodlums in 2023 elections. EU alleges. That's on page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct. And on page 2 again, we have Ojerinde, ICPC rejects a federal high court ruling set to appeal. Ojerinde, ICPC rejects federal high court ruling set to appeal. That's on page 2. And lastly, on page 2 again, we have we will double our pace at developing Oyo, according to Makinde. We will double our pace at developing Oyo. That's Makinde saying on page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct. Okay, I think that's the much you can take in the Nigerian News Direct. Please get a copy of the papers for yourself. Womodokosi, please let me get your thoughts on the story on page 7. It's a sad news about a person who, after collecting 120,000 naira ransom, went ahead to kill his brother and he's opened up to it. So what do you have to say concerning that headline, please?
I think this should, first of all, it all boils down to the upbringing, the family. That's the number one, because imagine growing up in a family that is not organized, in a family that there is no love, there is no peace, there is no unity. This is the end product of it. Because you don't tell me that if this man has grown up in or was born into a family of love, peace, unity,
where the father and the mother
are living together,
they encourage them, and they
Exactly.
teach them love.
Exactly. So I don't think this should have come out. We Nigerians, we families, mothers, fathers out there, this should also help the government. You should
By playing their own roles.
exactly. Play your own roles.
Because the family is the first unit of the society.
Exactly.
So if we get it wrong on the families, then obviously there's nothing we can do again in society.
Nothing. Because just imagine you growing up in a family where you never experienced love. You don't even know what love is. What are you expected?
Even when somebody loves you, shows you love,
you
don't recognize it.
You don't recognize it. You won't understand. You can't understand what you don't even know. I used to tell people, you don't understand what you don't even know. So to me, I feel it all boils down to the family. The family should play a very major role in bringing the kids up, especially this era where technology is going crazy. You understand? So I feel the family should also help. Because if you look at this story, you see that even after collecting 120,000, you still went ahead to kill your own blood brother. Blood brother. Why? Why? Okay, he said it was because it was after when it was during the time he was being interrogated. That was when he said it was because of they were beating him, so he gave up. You can't just be beating somebody and expect the person to be alive. It must have been very harsh. The beating must have been very severe, so he couldn't take it anymore. So he had to give up. So I feel that also, even according to the paper, within that period of time in Kaduna, this thing happened in Kaduna. Within that period of time, the police arrested over 503 suspects of different crimes. Some rape, some robbery, some vandalization, some stealing, cattle rustling. So okay. I feel that as the government are also, as I'm admonishing the government to at least try for the citizens, we families, the friends, and also should also help in raising the kids.
All right.
You understand? Because once a baby is born, it's not just meant for one person. You understand? So I feel, assuming if the child should receive the right education right from birth, I think everything will be fine, and okay. Nigeria will be a better place.
And just before I actually draw the curtain on this headline, please, I'd like to get your thoughts on what you think about the security level and the crime rates happening in the north. You know, we're still trying to settle.
You're still talking about the north.
Yeah, trying to settle the lynching of a certain young man in Sokoto, and then now this one is happening again in Kaduna. And recently we've been having news like this coming out from the northern part of the country. I think Deborah's own was still somewhere in the north as well.
Exactly.
So what do you think about the security level in the north? Is it that bad, or has it gotten to a level where I think in our local dialect we say, in Pidgin we say na God hand it in now, or water don't pass Gary. So has it gotten to a level where water don't pass Gary level?
Na God hand is still there, I beg, because without God we are nothing. So to me, I feel the insecurity, the cleaning in the north is quite severe. Even in the east, it's everywhere. It's not just in the north. You understand? Even if you come down to the east, the south, it's everywhere.
But lately, it's more like the north are the ones on the headlines now.
It's been there right from the time of Boko Haram, the time of Chibok girls. A whole lot of things have been happening. All of them is in the north. So I feel that leaders in the north should put more effort in curbing the insecurity in Nigeria, especially that northern part. And also, once they give birth to babies, they should send them to school, because a lot of them are uneducated. Just imagine when you are uneducated. Not that educated people don't commit crime, but I feel education also helps in some way in curbing crimes. You understand? Because I know some people that are educated, they are also into criminal because there is no job. But for the fact you are educated, it kind of helps a lot. It helps a lot in shaping your mentality.
And the way you see things.
Exactly, and the way you see things. Some people, they don't know, they just live. They are not living for anything, they are just living. okay, they just wake up, oh, today is Monday, let's just see what today will bring. They don't have a purpose, they don't have anything, they don't have a purpose in life. But I feel if you discover your purpose, you know that you are living for something. Some of them, they don't fear death. They don't fear that. So I feel that they at least they respect their imam. The imam should also help in educating them on this killing and also on this armed robbery.
Okay.
So I feel that leaders in the north should also help in
Have lot-
curbing.
a
They
lot
have
of
a
work to
lot
do.
of work. They have a lot of work. So they should jointly help in curbing this crime, because as it's affecting them, it's affecting everybody.
All right. So I think Kosi has just said hers. If you feel like you have other contributions to make, get to us, all right? Concerning the issues, the security issues in the north right now, it's a big issue. So if you have any contributions on that, please do want to reach out to us through the comment sections of this post, and I promise we'll get back to you. So this is the end of the newspaper review today. It's been an amazing time with you. Please, if you're yet to like, share, and of course comment on this video, please, you're making a very big mistake. And please do want to subscribe after watching this video and follow us on all our different social media platforms. Cyril Aloysius remains my name. I'm saying a bye for now, and thanks for watching.